Thank you, Acting Speaker, and it gives me great pleasure to be able to rise in this place and contribute to the grievance debate in relation to decentralisation, regional development and population dispersal, because in Australia we have an unhealthy reliance on our capital cities. Around Australia we have 87% living in urban areas and 64% of our population live in capital cities. And 81% of our population live within 50 kilometres of the coast. So when you take all of those measures into account, you can see that it's a very somewhat of a lopsided view of how we have been able to disperse our population in the nation of Australia. We should be looking to shift a regional balance of development between our metropolitan and non-metropolitan Australia. We know that regional Australia can deliver a much more livable, equitable, efficient and environmentally sustainable outcome for all of Australians. We also know that the cost of relocating 100,000 people into our major capital cities is measured in the billions of dollars when we have to have renovations done to our freeways and when we have to build our infrastructure in the inner cities to cope with that expansion of the population. It is measured in the tens of billions of dollars. However, we can put 100,000 people into regional cities around and regional towns and regional cities in Australia, and the cost is measured in a few $1 million with a little bit of additional infrastructure, because in the main the infrastructure is already there. The electricity supply, the gas supply, the road network, the sporting infrastructure, the housing blocks, is already in place. What we simply need to do is to move the people in and they can enjoy what we have to offer in regional Australia. We also should be looking at some of the other opportunities, for instance, that are involved in tertiary education. We know that in the seat of Murray we have the University of Melbourne that is based at Shepparton, which is a medical school which sends its medical students up there for a couple of years within their 6-year training program. Also, the University of Melbourne has an agricultural university at Dookie, which again sends its students to Dookie for only a number of months to gain that first-hand experience. The La Trobe University in Shepparton has nursing, allied health and business education, and many of these students really are doing very, very well. And it is also these educational institutions play a very important role in offering that opportunity for students to get their tertiary education, their tertiary qualifications in the regions, as opposed to having to go to Melbourne, Bendigo or Ballarat. So right in the seat of Murray, it's a fantastic opportunity there. We are driving, the National Party are very proud of the fact that we are driving decentralisation, and we have been very proactive when it comes to pushing these results into rural and regional Australia. We are looking to see how we can take government agencies into the regions. We know that the Senate Finance and Public Administration Reference Committee will be holding an inquiry into the operation, effectiveness and consequences of relocating corporate Commonwealth entities, as well as the economic, environmental and capability implications. I quote once again the Minister for Regional Development, who's also the Minister for Local Government and Territories, Minister for Regional Communications, Senator Nash, and she stated that public service jobs are a huge driver of downstream jobs, especially when placed in rural and regional towns. Regional Australia deserves the benefit of these public sector employment just as much as any capital city. And it is certainly the case that when you bring high quality, highly educated bureaucratic staff, administration staff into the regions, it's amazing the boost that they will give regional towns and regional cities with their extra co-curricular activities after work, taking on positions on boards and sporting organisations, and helping to grow the community away from work as well. Relocating government agencies such as the Australian Pesticides and Veterinary Medicines Authority to Armidale is one decentralisation initiative undertaken by the Coalition Government. Also relocation the Rural Industries Rural Research and Development Corporation to Wagga Wagga is another. Planned decentralisation works have also been successful in relation to Victoria, where they have moved the TAC to Geelong, the State Revenue Office to Ballarat, and WorkSafe has also looking to be relocated at the Victorian level as well. The Commonwealth Government is located a National Disability Insurance Agency to the regional city of Geelong, and that's certainly something that we wholeheartedly agree with. In the electorate of Murray, we're also campaigning very, very vigorously to have the Murray-Darling Basin Authority relocated to Shepparton, given the fact that the decisions that are made by the authority have a huge impact on the daily lives of the people that live in the Goulburn Valley, and that possibly in the whole Murray-Darling Basin, in the whole of the basin, there would not be an area that is as productive when it comes to agricultural produce as is the Goulburn Valley. So it's a good fit that these decisions that have been made by the authority, if they were actually to live and breathe and work in the environment where those decisions are having the consequences, I think it would certainly be a win-win for everybody. I know that the Shepparton Mayor has been a huge driver in this happening. The Committee for Shepparton and the CEO of the Committee for Shepparton has pushed very, very hard that the Murray-Darling Basin Authority would be a good fit to relocate to Shepparton. And Peter Thompson from Jeff Thompson Packing, a major employer and a serious fruit horticulturalist, has certainly also thinks that this plan has real merit. I think the concept we also have to do is that growing regional Victoria and regional Australia is not just something that will happen by taking a few government agencies out into the regions. It's also impingent upon a large proportion of government investment in amenity projects and programs like the Building Better Regions Fund, which enables the federal government to co-invest with the state government, with local government, community organisations to grow a whole range of different projects, whether it be sporting facilities, even our mobile black spot program where government is co-investing with the private sector in telecommunication, better telephone, mobile telephone capacities. Also the NBN, the investment in rail. We need to invest in passenger rail so that we can get cars off road, and again it grows the amenity of the people who are living in the regions when they know that they are better connected to our capital cities. Love living in the regions, love being separated from Melbourne and Sydney, but also love the concept that they can be connected to their capital with a couple of hours on a train. I think sporting and cultural facilities play an integral part in this. It's great that, again, in the city of Shepparton, we're going to be able to build a world-class art museum that's going to be built on the banks of the Lake Victoria. And it's been a huge push from the community to make sure that that project is going to proceed. It's going to be over a $35 million build and will be a world-class art museum. It's also been highly talked about as some of the road upgrades that have taken place around Shepparton, certainly with the $20 million investment into the arterial to get trucks out of the centre of Shepparton, and also some upgrades that have happened around the outskirts of Yarrawonga. I think if we move towards a better population dispersal, we need to look at it not a once-off, one-off option. It's all in. It's moving some agencies out of the capital cities. It's real investment, co-investment by the federal government and the state government in regional areas. It's a matter of looking at all of the other preferred decentralisation and all the other regional development initiatives that are going to lead to us being able to end up with a much better spread of population and much less congestion in our capital cities.